kaibigan na maglaban po ang dalawang mga butihin at magigiting at kilalang personalidad sa mundo po ng debate sa relihiyon, si Tatay Alvin Gitamundok ng Roman Catholic Church at si Reverend Jose correct me if I'm wrong, I forgot the exact family name. Reverend Jose, excuse me. Tama po ba yun? Ng Orthodox Church. Na nakabase po dito po sa ating bansa. So sa ating mga kaibigan, ang paksa po na pag-uusapan sa gabi na ito ay patungkol po sa papal infallibility at titingnan po natin kung sino pong mananaig sa mga argumentong ibibigay ng dalawa nating mga magigiting na debaters sa gabi na ito. Ang magiging affirmative po si Tatay Alvin Gitamundok ng Roman Catholic Church. Siya po yung nagtatayo o tumatayong bilang chief apologist ng defenders ng Roman Catholic Church sa bansang Pilipinas. At maging sa ano naman po, negative side ay si Reverend Jose po ng Orthodox Church sa gabay na ito. So para po sa ating mga debaters, ito po ang magiging batayan ng takbo sa ating debate sa gabi na ito. Napaloob po ito sa Philippines Debaters Association Official Rules and Guidelines. Sa unang tindig po, 15 minutes presentation for the first speaker. And kasunod doon, course examination for the 10 minutes. And the third rules natin ay 15 minutes na din po sa presentation ng second speaker, which is the negative side. And the 10 minutes cross-examination na gagawin po ng ating negative side laban po sa affirmative side sa gabi na ito. Yung pang-limang rules natin, all questions must be taken only from the argument presented by both speakers. So, ibig sabihin, sa unang tinig po, ay lahat po ng mga katanungan ay magmumula po sa mga argumento na ipresenta ng bawat panig ng ating mga debaters sa gabi nito. Ang ika-anim na rules po natin, question must be answered within 30 seconds only. So meron po kayong pagkakataon na magpaliwanag sa inyong sagot sa loob po ng 30 seconds. Number 7 rules natin, categorical question must be answered first categorically before giving 30 seconds explanations. Ito po ay ibig sabihin po ay kung categorical po yung tanong, dapat sagutin din po ito categorically bago po magpaliwanag sa loob po ng 30 seconds. At sa second round naman po, sa rebuttal stand by both speakers. 15 minutes para po sa rebuttal stand for the first speaker, which is the affirmative side, other than kapatid na Tatay Alvin Gitamundok. And 10 minutes cross-examination para po sa rebuttal. And number 10 rules natin, any questions can be asked as long as it relates to the official topic. So, any one question from the topic can be denied. So, ibig sabihin, sa second round ay dapat lahat po ng mga katanungan ay related po sa ating topic. And 11 rules po natin, 15 minutes for battle for the second speaker, the negative side, and 10 minutes cross-examination para po sa affirmative side, laban po sa negative side sa gabi nito. Number 13 rules, the moderator has the authority to give warnings for the violators of the guidelines, and a debater who will receive 3 counts of warnings will be deducted 1 minute time for examining, or be added 1 minute 1 minute for cross-examining. Okay? Number 14 rules natin, 7 minutes or 5 minutes of conclusion, both sides. And 3 minutes for final remarks, both sides, mga kapatid. And additional reminders para po sa ating mga debaters sa gabi nito, no side comments, no unprofessional attitude, respect the admin and the moderators decisions making. Ayan po ang ating mga rules sa debate po na ito sa gabi na ito. At ako po yung naniniwala sa ang ating mga debaters ay sang-ayon po sa mga rules na ating binasa at nilatang sa gabi na ito. So, I would like to confirm no, sa dalawang panig kung sumasang-ayon po ba sila at magpapasako po ba sa mga rules na ibinigay po natin kanina. Kapatid na Alvin Gitamondok, sumasang-ayon po ba kayo sa mga rules na yon?
Yes, moderator, Brad Joel, I agree.
Okay, salamat po for your affirmation, Mr. Affirmative side. And what about the negative side? Sumasang-ayon po ba kayo sa mga rules na yon, negative side?
Yes, sumasang-ayon po ako.
Teka, parang nakamute ata si Reverend Jose, kapatid.
Yes.
Narinig ko siya. Okay lang.
Ayan, yan po.
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear po.
Okay.
So once again, uulitin ko po, sumasang-ayon po ba kayo negative side, Reverend Jose, sa ating mga rules and regulations sa Philippines Debaters Association sa gabi na ito?
Yes, sumasang-ayon ako sa mga rules and regulations.
Okay po, since ang dalawang debaters po ay sumasang-ayon po sa ating mga regulations sa gabi na ito, sisimulan na po natin ang inaabangan ng ating mga kapatid sa gabi na ito sa debate sa pagitan po ni Tate Alvin Gitamondok at ni Reverend Jose po sa Pax na Papal Infallibility sa gabi nito. Sisimulan na po natin yung oras ng 50 minutes sa unang tindig para po sa affirmative side. Walang iba ay ang chief apologist ng Roman Catholic Church, no other than Tate Alvin Gitamondok. Tate Alvin Gitamondok, your time start now.
Good evening sa lahat. Magandang gabi sa lahat, lalo na sa aking katunggal ngayon, si Reverend Marie Somes of the Greek Orthodox Church here in the Philippines. And he also represents the all Greek Orthodox churches all over the world. At tapos sa ating moderator na si Brad Joel, at kaibigan ko rin, taga Davao, at si Brad Bruce Casona, ang ating Chief Administrator ng Philippine Debaters Association, at kay Brad Rasha na ating recorder ngayon, at ating timekeeper. Brad Rasha, yung time natin, hindi ko nakikita dito sa flash screen. Tapos sa ating mga visitors ngayon, hindi ko na lang, at sa lahat ng mga nanonood sa atin, this is over in PDA group and page, but also, I think, in the Debaters Convention group and page, and also on my walls and other Facebook groups and pages. So ulit, good evening sa lahat. I would now here defend the proposition that papal infallibility is clearly taught in scriptures and in the traditions of the church. For our knowledge, we know for a fact that the Roman Catholic Church actually has many common grounds. We agree in many points of doctrine, faith, and morals with the Greek Orthodox Church. In other words, they are our brothers and sisters in the faith. Only that we have minor differences, like for example, papal infallibility, because the Greek Orthodox Church believes that their patriarch at Constantinople also has equal powers and authority with the bishop or the Pope of Rome. But for us Catholics, the divine prerogative given to the office of the papacy in the person of Blessed Peter, this is clearly taught in scriptures and traditions. Now, I would propose here for my first 15 minutes the defense of such a doctrine of papal infallibility as taught by the Catholic Church through the Bible. So that these verses that I would quote now, I would technically defend papal infallibility. And since Brad Solmes, our friend here from Greek Orthodox Church, is also believes in scripture tradition, he has first to deny the very clear meaning of the verses that I will quote. For example, the papacy is predicted and prophesied in the scriptures. The patriarchs of Constantinople was not prophesied anywhere in the Old Testament and fulfilled in the New. They are only equally among bishops, which is prophesied in Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 16. But the Pope is a different prophecy. Very clear here in the scriptures. I will just read the New Revised Version because the Greek Orthodox Church also respected the Catholic translation of the New Revised Version of the Holy Bible. In the Old Testament, quoting Isaiah chapter 22, and I hope Reverend Song should also agree with this verse. Chapter 22, verse 19 to 23. God says to his prophet Isaiah, and I will drive thee out from the station, and depose thee from thy ministry. So this is a ministry, station and position. And I will clothe him, says God, with thy robe, meaning with the cloth of God, with the power of God, and will strengthen him with thy girdle, and will give thy power into his son. So this is a power and authority, delegation and commission. And he shall be as a father. This is singular, father. In the Latin, pater, or papas, the filial term of pater is papas, the common filial term in Latin. When you call your father, your direct father, papa. That's why from the Spanish, you also derive from the Latin papa, papa, and then in Tagalog, Cebuano, papa. So it is very clear, singular person is referred to, but the Pope, this is not a patriarch of Constantinople. The father to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, meaning the new church, which is the Catholic Church. We agree because for the first millennium, the Greek Orthodox Church is one with the Roman Catholic Church, headed by the Bishop of Rome. There was no clamor, there was no debate whether the Pope is really presiding over all the churches. Yes, there is agreement because of this verse in the Old Testament. Everybody agreed with the interpretation because Protestantism only disagreed around the 16th century when Martin Luther arose and founded as the father of Protestantism. Very clear, and he, singular, meaning the Pope, shall be as a father, papas, pater, to the inhabitant of Jerusalem, to the church, and to the house of Judah. House named the house of God, the church of God, the living God, the pillar and bulwark of truth. 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 15. And I will lay the key of the house of David, meaning house again, the church, upon his shoulder, singular shoulder. This refers to the Pope, and he shall open, and none shall shut, and he shall shut, and none shall open. Even in the Old Testament, this is very clear. This means that the Pope, the Father, the Pater, the Papa, has infallibility because he can open, it shall always be open. Meaning he can shut it, and nobody can open it. Meaning that is a correct doctrine, correct interpretation of scriptures and tradition. Meaning when he defines faith and morals, this is very clear. And this prophecy in Prophet Isaiah chapter 22, verse 15 to 23, is not about any bishop all over the world belonging to the Catholic Church or to the Orthodox or even the Patriarch of Constantinople, but it's specifically again to delineate and make it very clear in this debate. This refers to the Pope. Therefore, the Pope is infallible as prophesied by the prophet Isaiah, the words of God, letter by letter, in Isaiah chapter 22, verse 15 to 23. And I will fasten him as a peg in a sure place. In a sure place, he cannot be sure because he is fastened by God in a sure place, sure foundation. And he shall be for a throne of glory and the house of his father. It is very clear. Now, the fulfillment of this prophecy, again, I will also again quote this New Revised Version of the Holy Scriptures, a Catholic edition. I hope that Reverend Somes, my friend here, has also this Bible translation because he is also an Orthodox or Catholic. Matthew 16, 17 to 19, the fulfillment of Isaiah, also refers to a singular person. Because in Isaiah, there was no person, although there is a singular person prophesied, but the name was not given. Now the fulfillment is this. Let us read Matthew 16:16 to 19 in the New Wayland's Version, Holy Bible, Catholic Edition. And Jesus answering said to him, Blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, because flesh and blood hath not revealed it to thee, but my Father is in heaven. And I say to thee, meaning the God of Isaiah in Isaiah 22:19 to 22 is now Jesus, because the Greek Orthodox and many Protestants believe that Jesus is the Son of God, or God the Son is the second person of the Blessed Trinity. He is now the God speaking here, fulfilling the prophecy in Isaiah 22. Blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, because flesh and blood hath not revealed it to thee, but who? But my Father, who is in heaven. These revelations come from God the Father himself, given to the Son, and also by the Holy Spirit. And I say to thee, to whom, sino, thou art Peter, ikaw Pedro. E alam natin si Pedro, wala sa Constantinople, wala sa ibang mga diocese, not even in the Philippines or America, but only situated in Rome from Jerusalem to Antioch and later to Rome, where he was martyred together with St. Paul. And I say to thee that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church. Meaning the Catholic Church, there is no agreement with us. Disagreement with us with Brad Somes, that this is really the one universal Catholic Church record here, and no other, not the Protestant Church. And the gates of hell should not prevail against it. Verse 19 is very clear, fulfilling Isaiah 20-22, letter by letter. And I will give to thee, meaning God the Son, giving the keys of the kingdom of heaven to thee, to Peter, and whatsoever thou shalt bind upon earth, it shall be bound also in heaven. Heaven cannot bound error. Heaven cannot bound a fallible teaching. So this means that this is really infallibility given to Peter as prophesied in Isaiah. So if papal infallibility is false, then Prophet Isaiah is a false prophet, and God is speaking lies, and Jesus Christ, the Son of God, is speaking lies, and so is Peter and the apostles, and all the scriptures will be a book of lies. No, the scriptures is a book of truth, Daniel 10:21. And I say to thee that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, meaning the Catholic Church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. Quoting Isaiah 22:22, letter by letter, in verse 19, and I will give to thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven, singularly, to Peter, and whatsoever thou shalt bind upon earth, the keys of heaven given singularly to Peter, it shall be bound also in heaven. Whatsoever thou shalt loose on earth, it shall be also loosed in heaven. Nothing can be loosed in heaven if it is a wrong doctrine. So meaning when the Pope defines that it is wrong doctrine, what the Protestant taught, it is anathema, then heaven also will lose that doctrine, that is error. So meaning he can judge. He cannot judge if he is not infallible. If the case can fall into error in his definition of faith and morals in honor, then heaven can also unbound false doctrine, can teach false doctrine. No, heaven cannot teach false doctrine. So it is clear here that the Pope, Papa, Isaiah 22:19 to 22, which is fulfilled in the prophecy by Jesus Christ to St. Peter, giving him the keys, Matthew 16:17, 18, 19, it's very clear. Even the word infallible is used here in the Bible. It is not an unbiblical term. No, it is a very biblical term. It is used in Acts chapter 1, verse 3, with our Protestant brethren, which we also agree that this is a good translation in Acts chapter 1, verse 3. Let us read the Holy Scriptures, King James Version. It reads here, to whom he also showed himself, Acts of the Apostles, King James Version, alive after passion by many infallible proofs. Infallible proofs. Actually, this word infallible, in Pangalapi, thank you very much, Mr. Moleto, but Joel. This word infallible, which is used by the King James Version, come from the Latin verb unfalliere, meaning cannot fail in English. Non falpa, it cannot fail. The faith of Peter cannot fail. Infallible proofs, the sin of death for today, speaking the things pertaining to the kingdom of God. infallible, letter by letter, Acts chapter 1 verse 3. So, the word infallible, it can be applied in Isaiah 22, letter by letter, in Matthew 16:19, letter by letter, in Acts 1:3. Because it can no otherwise be meant, because in the Spanish Bible, in Luke chapter 22, verse 32, letter by letter, it reads, mas yo he rogado o te que tu fe no falte. Or te fe, your faith, no falte. Meaning infaliere. In the Latin version, un faliere, cannot fail. Based on Luke 22, 31 to 32. This is very clear here. Dito, una vez, well, po confirma tos hermanos. Napakaliwanag dyan, Santa Biblia version, Reina Valera, 15th century pa ito na version ng Spanish. So, now, it is very clear to quote the Christian faith, really, this book. This is a dogmatic book of the Catholic Church. Let us read what infallibility means, the definition of infallibility. In page 321, in 839 article, it reads, it is a divinely revealed dogma that the Roman pontiff, when he speaks ex cathedra, that is, when acting in the office of shepherd and teacher of all Christians, he defines by virtue of his supreme apostolic authority a doctrine concerning faith or morals to be held by the universal church, possesses through the divine assistance promised to him in the person of Blessed Peter, by Jesus Christ himself our Lord, the infallibility with which the divine Redeemer will this church to be endowed in defining the doctrine concerning faith or morals, and that such definitions of the Roman pontiff are therefore irreformable of themselves, not because of the consent of the church, in Latin excessive non autem ex consenso ecclesiae. This is very clear on the definition and infallibility. According to the First Vatican Council in 1870, and Pastor Eternus. So I hope that our friend here, with due respect to his faith as a Greek Orthodox, we also believe that the Bishop of Rome is equal also with the Patriarch of Constantinople, meaning the Pope is the first among equals, primus inter pares. But to be first, he has different privileges from his equals. He have equal, in a sense, equal dignity in the eyes of God as Bishop of the Church, the Patriarch of Constantinople and the Bishop of Rome. But in the privileges, it is very different in Matthew 16:19, Isaiah 22:22, and in John 21:15 to 17, and I quoted Luke chapter 22, verse 31 to 32. The faith that cannot fail was not given promise in Luke 22, 31, 32 to any bishop individually, not also to the Patriarch of Constantinople, but only to Peter, letter by letter. Literally, in Luke 22, 31 to 32, it is in the person of Peter, upon which the church is built upon the rock of Peter in Matthew 16, 17, 18, 19, as fulfilled in Isaiah 22, singularly upon Peter, the prime minister of the church, Isaiah 22, 19 to 22. So meaning, this is very clear, he is the picture of mankind, of the church, the whole church, in John 21, 15 to 17. I hope Brad Somis will agree with me. Sa Juan 21:15-17, talagang ang nagpapakain ng tupa, pati na ng mga head shepherds, is the chief shepherd under Christ, who is no other than Peter. Because sabi ni Cristo, Peter, feed my sheep. Peter, feed my lambs. 3 times to Peter. He did not say to any patriarch.
Okay. Time na po, Tatay Alvin.
Thank you very much and good evening.
Okay po, napakaganda po ng presentation, no, ni Chief Apologist ng Roman Catholic, Tatay Alvin Gitamundo. At titingnan po natin, mga kaibigan, sa gabay na ito, kung magigiba ba ng ating negative side, yung unang tindig ng affirmative side sa pamamagitan po ng cross-examination na gagawin po ni Reverend Jose Somis ng Orthodox Church. Reverend Jose Somis, nasa iyo na po ang pagkakataon sa loob po ng 10 minuto para po sa cross-examination na gagawin laban po kay Tatay Alvin Gitamundo po. 10 minutes po sa cross-examination. Your time start now, Reverend Jose Somis.
First of all, magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. And this argument ng kay brother about sa una, sa Old Testament, the prophecy in the Old Testament. In the Old Testament, the church is a mystery. Walang prophecy about the church. Ang church ay lumabas lamang yung sinabi na ni Christ kay Peter, upon this rock, I will build my church. Mystery ang church. Walang prophecy, not a single verse in the Old Testament na tumutukoy sa church. That's okay.
Teka, tatay muna. There's time. Reverend Officer, nasa pagtatanong po kayo, sir.
Okay, magtatanong muna ako.
Opo, magtatanong po kayo, nasa 10 minuto bago po kayo tindig po sa inyong side. Sige po, sa loob po ng 10 minuto po.
Okay. Sinasabi ko ninyo na in the Old Testament, meron doong tumutukoy sa Jeremiah about sa Pope sa Rome. Ayun po bang Pope na yun tumutukoy kay Peter o Pope ngayon? Kay Peter ba yung Isaiah, Jeremiah na prophecy? Or doon dito sa Pope, sa Roman Pope ngayon? Hello?
Tata Alvin.
Answer. It refers. Yes, I will answer very categorically. Yes, verse 3 to Peter, it was fulfilled in Isaiah chapter 22, verse 19 to 22. Then it was fulfilled to the person of Peter in Matthew 16, 18 to 19. It is very clear. I've read the Bible. If you do not believe the scriptures, then you are not a Christian. Reverend Somes. And it also refers to the successors of St. Peter, which are the popes, which we have now 165 popes from St. Peter to Pope Francis.
Next
Yun is our
question.
present Pope Francis. Because the rock upon which Christ death.
Sige po, sige. 8 minutes and 45 seconds, Reverend Jumaria, natitira po sa iyong oras, no? Para po sa pagtatanong. Okay, your time resume now, Reverend Jumari Somisor, sa pagtatanong. Go ahead po.
Sa tanong. Another na pagtanong?
Opo, opo.
Okay. The second na tanong ko, kailan na naging
Baka maluwag pagkasaksak.
hello?
Yan. Very clear.
Yes po, go ahead po, go ahead po.
Okay pa. Kailan naging Pope na tinutukoy ni Okay. Kailan po na naging
Yes.
Pope
Come in. Go ahead.
si Peter sa sinasabi yun sa Matthew? Wala naman sinasabi doon about Pope. He's the chief. Ang sinabi lamang doon, feed my
Kailan?
sheep.
Okay, I will answer you, Reverend Jomari.
Okay.
Okay, I'll answer you, Reverend Jomari, your question.
Yes, okay.
In Isaiah
Yes.
22, from verse 19 to 22, the prophecy refers to the person to be called a father or papas in Latin, or pater. Singular person, meaning a pope or father, papas or pater. The prophecy in St. Peter, by Christ giving that prerogative to Peter, the fulfillment of such a prophecy. And I tell you, are Peter, Matthew 16:18, and upon this rock I will build my church. And even the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. In verse 19, I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatsoever you bound on earth shall be bound in heaven.
Next
Whatsoever you loose
question.
on earth shall be loosed in heaven. That is quoting Isaiah 22, letter by letter.
Next question. Reverend
Wala na po
Jumari,
akong
next question po.
question dahil sa sa akin ay sasagutin lahat ang mga argument niya sa pagtatalakay ko kung bakit wala na po akong maki-question sa kanya.
Okay po,
Lahat po kasi ng
So you mean, you will
Yes.
read Medyo Marie,
Okay,
your
teka.
questioning?
Moderator's time. Sorry. Moderator's time. Reverend Jomari, ika-clarify pa. Ibigin na po ba yung natira niyong oras sa pagtatanong?
Oh.
Saan po ba?
wala na akong itatanong dahil sa argument ko, dun
Nawawala yung
masasagot
signal ako.
din.
Reverend Jomari, ika-clarify po natin. I-wave
pwede
na po
pong
ba yung
i-wave
natira
na
niyong
lang
oras sa
natin dun sa
pagtatanong? Tama
ano ko
po ba?
dahil doon ko din masasagot. Okay.
Okay, sige. Okay po. Granted po. Sige, Tatay Alvin Gitamonog, since ni-wave na po ni Reverend Jomari yung oras niya sa pagtatanong, dadako na po tayo sa kanyang presentation sa unang tindig para po sa kanyang against sa papal infallibility na paksa sa gabi na ito. Okay mga kaibigan, tunghayan po natin ang unang pahayag. Okay po, sa loob po ng 15 minutes sa Reverend Jomari Somis, yung tindig, your time start naman po.
Magandang gabi sa inyo lahat. Andito ako po ay wala po akong sinasakupan na Orthodox Church sa ngayon, pero I'm sa Orthodoxy view. Ang sinaside ko, I'm a Reformed Evangelical for 30 years and 5 years na po ako nag-aaral sa Orthodoxy. Kaya may mga view at ng mga nagtuturo sa akin about ng mga Orthodox priests. Kaya ngayon, ang tatalakayin ko about the papal infallibility. Una, sa Bible. The Bible text prove Peter is not infallible. Makikita po natin to sa Galatians 2:11 na si Peter ay ni-rebuke din ni Paul. Kung siya ay, when you said papal infallibility, the supremacy of the Pope, na hindi siya maaaring magkamali. Pero dito si Peter ay nagkamali. At ni-rebuke siya ni Pablo sa harapan ng maraming tao. That's proof that Peter is not infallible. Second, at sinabi ni Pablo sa Galatians din, na si Peter, hindi lang iisang leader, supreme leader, sa Jerusalem, tatlo sila, the pillar of the church. Sino no? Si James, si John, at si Peter sa Galatians 1. Sa Galatians 2, din siya, 2:9. Tatlo sila ang leader sa loob ng simbahan Jerusalem. At kapag nagsalita dito si James, tahimik din lahat. Ganon din si Peter, kapag nagsalita siya, tahimik din. Ganon din si Pablo, tahimik din lahat. Kaya hindi isang dahilan na kaya tumahimik nung nagsalita si Peter, tumahimik ka lahat dahil siya ang pinaka-chief leader, kundi siya ay ino-honor as a leader, one of the leader of the Jerusalem church. Pangalawa, the key of the kingdom. Orthodox Christian accept that Peter had a certain primacy. In New Testament, he is first to be given the key. Siya yung unang binigyan ng authority. Pero, however, other texts may be interpreted to imply that the other apostle also received. Hindi lamang siya lang yung unang binigyan, dahil siya lang yung unang sinabihan ni Kristo. Pero sa mga text na sumunod na mga apostol din, binigyan din ng key to the kingdom of God in Matthew 18:18. Such an interpretation, it is claimed, has been accepted by many church fathers. Ang mga church father, inaccept yan that the key of the kingdom of God ay hindi lamang kay Peter, para yan sa lahat. Para yan sa simbahan, the whole church. Ito ay tinatanggap ng mga church fathers, sina Tertullian, Hilary Poetor, John Chrysostom, at si Agustin, si Saint Augustine. Mga early church fathers tinatanggap that the key of the kingdom ay hindi lamang kay Peter ibinigay. Yan po. Ito sa Acts 15 sa Council of Jerusalem, Catholic historians note that when Peter spoke, all were silent. However, that when Paul and James spoke, all were silent as well. Kaya hindi basihan na kaya si Peter ang chief apostle o pope, infallible siya dahil sa nung nagsalita siya, tumahimik lahat. Ganon din naman si Pablo, nung nagsalita, tahimik lahat. Si James, nung nagsalita, tahimik din lahat. Kaya hindi basihan ang pagtatahimik na lahat, kundi honor yun. Kung sino nagsalita, ino-honor na, tumatahimik sila. Ito ay, the church father said, si Eusebius said that it was James who stated the decision, not Peter. Katulad sa Council of Jerusalem, si James ang nagdesisyon tungkol sa Gentiles na hindi na kailangan magpa-convert pa sa Judaism. Kay James na decision yun, hindi yung kay Peter. Doon pinapakita na si Peter is not only the chief elder. Si John Chrysostom, the father, the ruling of the council was expressed as being the decision of all the council, not just Peter's. Si John Chrysostom na nagsabi, the church father. The opening statement of official formulation normally begins with the praise following the Holy Fathers, not the following the ruling of the Pope. And another argument from the church council, not one ecumenical council tinatanggap. Ang ecumenical council ay binubuo ito ng Jerusalem, Antioch, Alexandria, Rome, and Constantinople. This is a 5 metropolitan church. At may kanya-kanya silang mga pope dyan. Not one ecumenical council was called by a pope. All were called by Byzantine emperor. The 7 ecumenical council ay pinatawag yan na emperor, not the Pope of Rome. At the teaching primacy firm part of holy tradition. A general council may overrule of the Roman pontiff. Decision taken by the Pope in cases involving again bishop have often been confirmed by ecumenical council. This indicates that the papal decision itself is not considered binding. Yan ninyo makikita na kahit ang ecumenical council ay hindi nagdidepende sa decision ng Pope of Rome, kundi sa decision ng council. Why the Orthodox does not accept the papal infallibility? Ang papal infallibility, una, nagsimula itong nag-claim noong 4th century. In the 3rd century. At kinondemn din to na ecumenical council. The Orthodox does not accept the doctrine of papal authority set forth in the Vatican Council of 1817. Ang papal infallibility ay talagang naging dogma lamang to noong 1870. Before the 1870, hindi yan dogma ng Roman Catholic. That's a question. How many years? Kailan lang? 1870, 19th century lang. The Orthodoxy has always maintained that the original position of collegiality of the bishop, ibig sabihin pantay-pantay, ang tawag sa mga pope in the East is the patriarchal. Ito ang tinatawag na the first among equal. Ang Pope of Rome, tinatawag na the first dahil siya yung sentro ng Roman Empire. Kaya siya first. Pero honorary title lamang ang Pope. Hindi ito kapangyarihan, supreme authority, but honorary title. The structure of the church being closer to a confederacy. The Orthodox have synod where the highest authority in each church community are brought together, but unlike the Roman Catholic, no central individual or figure has absolute and infallible last word on church doctrine. In practice, this has sometimes led to division among Greeks. Starting from the second half of 20th century, Eucharist ecclesiology upheld by Roman Catholic, the Church, like the Eucharist, is a mystery of unity, the same mystery and one with exhaustible riches. Ang council, ang Church is like a mystery of the Trinity. Tatlong persona sila, magkakaiba, pero iisa sila. Ganon din ang council. Ang magkakaiba sila pero iisa ang kanilang hangarin, ang kanilang vision, ang kanilang doktrina. Iisa ang kanilang paniniwala, iisa ang kanilang faith, pero magkakaiba. Walang leader dyan. Ang Pope, ang unang nagbigay ng kumuha ng papal infallibility ay lamang noong ang unang nagbigay ng Pope ay si the 13th Alexandrian Bishop, si Heraclius, noong only 3rd century. Doon lang talaga tinawag na Pope. Siya ang unang gumamit nito. In the second and the first, walang tinatawag na Father. Kundi ito ay si Heraclius ng Alexandria, Egypt, hindi sa Rome. Ang unang lumabas ng Pope. And this title was applied informally sa lahat ng bishop, hindi sa iisa. It only began to be used particularly for the Bishop of Rome in 1075 kay Pope Gregory VII. Issue a declaration widely this by the established convention. By 6th century, this was also the normal practice. Kaya makikita ninyo, ang Pope infallibility ay bago lang yan. Wala yan katuruan in the Bible o katuruan ng early church. Sa Ecumenical Council, walang tinuturo na may iisang papal infallibility. Naging doktrina lamang yan in the 19th century. Kaya ang papal infallibility, biblically, wala siyang basihan. Secondly, historically, wala din siyang basihan sapagkat papal infallibility ay ginawa lamang yan noong 19th century ni Pope Gregory VII na nag-split na, humiwalay na ang Roman Catholic sa ecumenical noong 1054, noong 11th century. Because of the issue of papal infallibility, na kinontra ng apat na pope, the Pope of Jerusalem, the Pope of Antioch, the Pope of Constantinople, and the Pope of Alexandria, kumontra laban sa Pope of Rome sa papal infallibility in 1054. At ang naging doktrina ng Pope of papal infallibility, naging dogma lamang yan ng Roman Catholic in the 19th century. Noong 1890. Kaya walang basihan sa history in the early church, in the Bible, and in history of the ecumenical council and the church history, walang basihan ang papal infallibility. Kaya sa Orthodox, ang papal infallibility is an honorary title. Tinatawag itong the first among equal. Ibig sabihin, siya ay honorary title, wala siyang kapangyarihan. Ang may kapangyarihan sa local church, ang bishop ng local churches. At lahat yan sila pantay-pantay. The head of the church is Jesus Christ. At ang infallible lamang ay walang iba, ang banal na espiritu. Dahil ang Pope, kaya kinundi na in 1054 ng Constantinople Pope, dahil sinabi sa Pope of Rome, tao ka lamang, magkakamali ka. Kapag nagkamali ka, sino ang magko-correct sa iyo? Ang infallibility ay ang ecumenical council. Pero ang pagiging infallible niya, hindi doon sa pagiging hindi maaaring magkamali, kundi infallible siya na ma-maintain ang pananampalataya ng simbahan. Hindi ito masisira. That is the meaning of infallible sa mga Orthodox. Not the authority, not the person, but the whole church. Infallible ang kabuuan ng simbahan. The meaning of the Catholic is not universal, kundi ito ay the whole opinion, the whole body. The opinion, the faith of the whole church. That's the meaning ng Catholic. At unang gumamit niyan, si Bishop Ignatius in the 2nd century, ang disipulo ni John. At si Peter ay hindi naging bishop sa Rome. Naging bishop si Peter sa Antioch. Kasama niya si John. At sa Book of Acts, si Peter at si John, unang tinawag na Christian sa Antioch. At in the church history, si Peter ang naging bishop ng Antioch, the first bishop. Hindi siya naging bishop sa Rome. Pumunta lamang sila ni Paul at ni Peter sa Rome at doon sila namatay. They are both pumunta doon. They established the faith. At si Peter ang nag-ordain lamang kay Bishop Linus, the first Pope of the Roman Catholic. Pero hindi siya naging Pope, ang naging Bishop sa Rome. Not a single history. Ayan ay ipinasok lamang na Roman Catholic.
Okay, time na po.
Thank you.
Tayo na po, Reverend Jose Marie Somis. Salamat po sa inyong napakagandang presentation sa umaga nito at I'm sure ay punong-puno po ng challenges si Tatay Alvin ito sa kanyang mga katanungan, no? O sa magiging katanungan. Sisimulan na po natin ang cross-examination na gagawin po ng affirmative side sa loob po ng 10 minuto. Tatay Alvin Gitamondo, ang oras niyo po ay magsisimula na po. Go ahead po, Tatay Alvin.
Yes, good evening ulit. Ating buting moderator Brad Joel at again sa ating buting katunggali ngayon sa Greek Orthodox Church, si Reverend Jomar Somes. Ang unang tanong ko ngayon sa cross-examination ay ganito, Reverend Somes. Ito bang letter po letter, letter by letter that I have read in Isaiah chapter 22, verse 17 to 23? Don't you believe this, that there is a father or a papa? A singular father, papa. A father to the inhabitants of Jerusalem and to the church. Don't you believe this, letter by letter, na may isa talagang tatay o papa ng pamamahay ng Diyos, ng bahay ng Diyos, ng iglesia.
Yes.
You believe this, yes or no? You don't believe this,
Yes, I believe there is sa Jerusalem may Pope, may Father. Pero iba yung Pope sa meaning sa amin, Ang Pope sa amin is the honorary title. The first among equal. Dahil ayan ay tinatanggap yan. Tawag sa Pope dati sa Rome is the first among equal. Honorary title. In the Ecumenical Council, tinatawag ang Rome the first among equal. Dahil siya yung una, hindi dahil siya yung unang Pope, kundi ang Rome ang unang metropolitan ng empire. Kaya siya
Next
the first
question.
among equal.
Sunod na tanong, Reverend Somes. Sabi mo ngayon pa lang, very clear, napakaliwanag, that you believe in these words of Prophet Isaiah, prophesied by God to the Prophet Isaiah, Isaiah chapter 22, 19 to 23, letter by letter. But earlier, in your stand, in your first negative stand,
Choppy? Medyo choppy, hindi napuputol. Pakiulit.
you said that there is no Pope in the Bible. Walang Papa, walang sa Biblia. So, alin ngayon ang tama, Reverend Somes?
Ang word na
Unang
Pope,
pahayag
okay po. Ang word na
mo na
Pope,
medyo protestante ka, na
Okay.
walang
okay.
Papa dito sa Biblia. Tapos ngayon,
Opo.
inamin mo, meron pala. Based on
Ang pinag-uusap,
19 to 20.
yes, ito po. Ang Pope kasi na pinag-uusapan natin about,
Hindi pa question mo, Jerusalem ba o Rome? Ang question
yes, choppy po. Medyo,
dito kung may Papa ba o wala.
Yes. Medyo choppy ang signal, no? Maliban sa choppy, Reverend Jo Marie, paalala ko lang po, hantayin po natin na matapos po yung tanong bago po kayo
okay,
sumagot.
sorry.
Opo.
Okay, sorry.
Okay lang po. Sige, Tatay Alvin, pakiulit po sa inyong katanungan, Tatay Alvin. Para sa inyong katanong, sige po, Tatay
Okay,
Alvin.
my question is very plain, simple, and categorical, Reverend Somes. Kanina sa stand mo, sa first negative stand mo, napakaliwanag, naririnig namin. Hello?
Ayun, meron na po, Tatay Alvin.
Okay,
Ayan.
sige.
Sige po, hello.
Sige.
Okay po, your
Okay.
time resume now po. Sige po.
Okay, I will repeat my question to Reverend Somes. In your first negative stand, napakaliwanag, sinulat ko dito at witness kami dito nakakinig yan sa debate. Sabi
Kapatid Rasha, at the time mo
sa
na.
Biblia
medyo
pa lang, biblically, scripturally, walang Papa. Hindi pa yung question kung sa Jerusalem ba o sa Roma ba.
Teka.
Ito mo na.
Tatay Alvin, medyo choppy
Hello,
po
hello.
ang iyong signal.
Chucky ba? Chucky?
Putol-putol po. Opo.
So, I will repeat again my question to Reverend Somes. In your first negative stand, lahat kami dito witness, sinulat ko dito, categorically sinabi mo na walang Papa sa Biblia. No Pope in the Bible, scripturally. Tapos ngayon, umamin ka, meron palang Pope sa Jerusalem. According to you in your interpretation in Isaiah 22:15 to 19. My categorical question is this, just between the two options. Ano bang tama? O ano bang sinungaling? Yung sinabi mo kaninang tama o sinungaling yun? O ngayon ang sinabi mo, may Papa pala sa Biblia, sa Jerusalem lang. Saan ba talagang totoo? Alin sa dalawa? Which is true. Kasi contradictory yung statement mo eh.
Lilinawin ko lang po, noong sa Bible na Jerusalem, hindi po tinatawag na Pope si Peter. Ang Pope, lumabas lang ho yan in the time of the 3rd century
Objection, Mr.
sa
Moderator.
Jerusalem Church.
Okay,
Objection.
objection. Merong objection. Yes, what is your objection, Mr. Affirmative side?
Ang objection ko, Brad Joel, Mr. Moderator, kasi nagpahayag na siya ngayon sa unang tanong ko na agree siya may Pope sa Jerusalem. Hindi pa yun nag-debate kami kung si Peter ba yun o kung sino ba yun. nag-agree siya may Pope sa Jerusalem. Yun ang katuparan ng Isaiah 22:15-23. Ngayon, ang kanina, sa negative stand niya, sabi niya, walang papa sa Bible. Napakaliwanag, hindi categorical. So, pipiliin ko siya ngayon, Mr. Joel, moderator, alin ba sa dalawa ang tama o sinungaling na statement? Kasi dalawa contradictory. Saan ang
Yes,
tama
tama
doon?
po.
Saan mali? May isang mali doon, may isang tama. Saan
Yes,
doon?
tama. Sige, kuha ko na po yung katanungan niyo po. Negative side, pakisagot po ng categorically. Opo. Pagkatapos niyan, meron po kayong 30 seconds na magpaliwanag. Alin po doon yung tama po?
Ang tama po, ang pinag-uusapan natin, ang papal infallibility ay wala sa Biblia. Na ang isang tao ay infallible. Na isang pope ay infallible. Pero meron mga tinatawag na pope but not infallible na tao. Na hindi na, ang Jerusalem po, hanggang ngayon na andyan po yan, Jerusalem Church. Ang iniisip po niya na ang Jerusalem na tinutukoy ko ay wala na yung Jerusalem in the book of the Bible. Dahil ayan ang sinasabi ng karamihan na nawala na ang Jerusalem Church. Hindi po nawala ang Jerusalem Church. Na andyan po yan. Hindi po yan lumipat. Kaya hindi...
Yes.
Okay. Papaliwanag na lang po
Moderator's time.
mamaya.
Moderator's time. Yes, for the second time, objection mula kay Tatay Alvin. Yes po. Ano po yung objection niyo po?
Ang objection ko, Mr. Moderator, but Joel, is very simple. Kasi hindi na sinabi kanina, walang po papal infallibility sa Bible. Hindi yan sinabi niya. Categorical ang sinabi niya. Walang Pope sa Bible. Pope lang. Kasi hindi naman tayo mag-debate ng infallibility kung walang Pope mismo eh. Kaya yan, binanatan
Yes.
ni Reverend Joe, ni Reverend Somes, yung Pope na walang Pope sa Bible. Tapos ngayon naman pala, nang tinanong ko sa Isaiah 22:15-19, meron daw Pope sa Jerusalem nga lang. Oh, hindi naman ako nag-disagree niyan eh. So ngayon, contradictory yung sinabi niya kanina sa first negative stand na walang Pope. Hindi niya sinabi walang papal infallibility. Sinabi niya categorically, walang Pope, walang Papa. Tapos ngayon naman, umami siya, may Papa. Sa Jerusalem nga lang. Hindi naman infallibility dito ang tinatanong ko muna, you are under cross. Kaya alin sa dalawa talaga, pumili ka muna, Reverend Joe, Reverend Somes, hindi ka pa pumili eh. You are not answered me categorically. Saan
Yes,
ang tama doon nga contradictory, saan ang mali?
Okay, kuha ko na po. No? Ulitin po natin dahil hindi po sinagot ng diretsahan ni Reverend Jumari yung tanong ni Tatay Alvin. Alin po doon yung tama sa mga sinasabi mo dahil doon ay magwa-warning po tayo, no? First warning kay Reverend Jumari para po. Opo. So, magpili muna kayo doon kung alin po doon ang tama at meron po kayong 30 seconds na magpaliwanag, Reverend Jumari po.
Ang salitang Pope, lininawin ko lang, Pope ay wala na salita sa Biblia. Ang nasa Biblia, ang Hebrew sa Greek, ang tinutukoy na Pope, Father, Patriarchal, meron. Katulad ng patriarchal
Moderator?
not the
Yes.
word na Pope.
Okay.
Not the word na Pope.
Moderator's time.
Ako pa po. Tuloy
Yes,
pa po.
Reverend Jumari, maliwanag po kasi yung tanong ni Tatay Alvin, o categorical po yun. Pinapapili po kayo alin po sa dalawa yung tama, yung una mong tindig na walang Pope sa Biblia, o yung sagot mo ngayon na meron naman pala Pope. Yun po yung tanong kasi ni Tatay Alvin. Opo, ma'am.
Okay.
Magpili po kayo.
Okay.
Yes po.
Teka. Sige.
Sige, ulitin ko. Okay, we'll repeat the question. Very categorical, plain and simple. I asked Reverend Somes. Now he answered, walang Pope sa Bible. Again, napaliwanag, second time na ngayon nasa sagot niya. So saan ang tama doon ngayon, Pastor Reverend Somes? Yung sinabi mo bago pa lang, a few seconds ago, na walang Pope sa Bible. Tapos later kanina, sinabi mo, mayroong Pope, nasa Jerusalem lang. Saan na sa dalawa yun? Kasi walang pope at merong pope, contradictory yan. Reverend Somes, please answer us. You're contradicting yourself, which is true, which is false.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Una, ang question kasi ay medyo nilalagay ako sa alanganin dahil mali.
Dilemma
Iba
talaga.
ang
Dilemma talaga yan.
sandali lang po. Iba yung tinutukoy mong salitang Pope, wala yan sa Biblia. Ang tinutukoy na Pope, dahil pinag-uusapan natin, Pope infallibility. The Pope of Rome. The Pope of Rome ang pinag-uusapan, wala sa Bible. Pero kung sasabihin mo word na Father, marami yan. Pero hindi yan tumutukoy sa
Moderator's
Pope.
time, Reverend Jumari.
Okay. Una, walang
Opo,
Pope.
teka
Pope.
muna. Teka muna. Opo. Malinaw po sa ating rules, Reverend Jumari, na wala pong komento, no?
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Ang ano niyo po, ang role niyo po ngayon ay sasagot lang po sa mga tanong.
Yes
no?
or no lang.
Opo, kung merong sagot ay sasagutin. Kapag wala naman, pwede naman po kayo mag-pass, no?
Yes,
At
okay.
dahil po doon ay bibigyan po kita ng pangalawang warning,
Okay.
Reverend Jumari, no?
Okay.
Opo, meron po kayong yung tanong kasi ni Tatay Alvin.
Objection, Mr. Moderator.
Categorical po yung mamili po kayo doon. Alin po yung tanong? Yes po, ano po yung objection, Mr. Affirmative Sen?
Ang objection ko, Brad Joel, Mr. Moderator, kasi bago na naman niya inamin na walang pope sa Bible. Sa Bible, ha? Walang pope sa Bible. Wala pa sa nagsabi na hindi papal infallibility. Yung pope pa lang, yung word pope, wala daw sa Bible. Tapos kanina nag-agree siya sa kaya nga, sagutin kita. 1054, na-excommunicate ang patriarch niyo ng Constantinople kasi lumaban sa autoridad ng Papa ng Roma, na-excommunicate. Sa Bible, Galatia 1:6-9, ang una na-excommunicate, yun ang separated sa katawan ni Kristo sa iglesia. Kaya si Michael Paleologos, na patriarch niyo sa panahon noon sa 10th century, yun ang nahiwalay, kayo yun. Oh, yan ang sagot ko sa'yo. Kayong nahiwalay, huwag mo ipilit kami nahiwalay. Mas majority kami, konti nga lang kayo noon eh. Paano kayo kami nahiwalay yung malaki, ang katawan, pati ulo? Tapos ikaw, dito lang sa kalingkingan, nahiwalay ka. Kami nang nahiwalay, ang katawan nahiwalay sa kalingkingan.
Okay.
Next question.
Last na tanong ko na ba
Next
to?
question.
Next question.
Next question.
Ang sinasabi ninyo na tinatanggap ng Constantinople ang supremacy of the Pope is sa 12th century. Tama po ba? Sa Council of Trillo?
No, I quoted the fathers of the Fourth Council of Constantinople. Constantinople, hindi Trillo.
Oh, ano year po yun?
Fourth General
Ano po?
Council, 6th century po. 6th century.
Ano 6th century?
Pasok pa yun sa 1054. 6th century na. Around 574. 6th century, Constantinople
okay.
ang punto
Ay,
dito. Hindi
Next
yung
question.
Constantinople.
Moderator time muna, kapta time muna. Reverend Jumari, habang magsasagot po si Tatay Edwin, huwag niyo pong sapawan. Pakinggan muna natin yung sagot niya, no? Para hindi po magulo. Opo. Kasi sinasapawan niyo po humihirit po kayo habang sumasagot po si Tatay Alvin. So, antayin natin na matapos po kasi 30 seconds naman yung yung explanation niya. So, sa kanya po yun. So, hindi po natin dapat sapawan, no? Para hindi po magulo. Sige po, you still have 4 minutes para po sa iyong pagtatanong. Your time will resume now.
Okay. Sinabi mo na tinanggap ang 6th Council of Constantinople ang Pope Papal Infallibility. Bakit nag-split pa sila? At bakit naging dogma noong 1870 lang ang Papal Infallibility? Ibig sabihin, walang Papal Infallibility na doktrina ang simbahan before the 1870. Hindi yan
Sasagot
dogma.
ako, ha?
When you said dogma, okay.
Tama na. Sa question mo, huwag mo lang mag-explain na mahaba. I will answer you within 30 seconds. Ang sagot ko sa iyo, nag-skip nga sila naghiwalay kasi in the 10th century, hindi na sila kumikilala eh. Yung 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, 4th, hanggang sa 1st century, kumikilala pa. Isa sa 10th century, hindi na kumikilala eh. So, matipilit mo bang tao pag hindi kumikilala? Halimbawa, ikaw ngayon, magprotestante ka. Di, hindi mo nakikilala yan. Papa ng Roma, ganyan naman yan kasimple. That is very logical. Kumiwalay kayo. Kasi linakalabanan nyo, 4th General Council of Constantinople in the 6th century. Nag-excommunicate kayo in 1054, yung patriarch nyo na Constantinople.
Next
excommunicated by the
question.
Pope of Rome.
Next
Okay.
question.
Next question.
30 seconds remaining.
Okay. Bakit naging 1870 lang naging dogma ng simbahan? Doktrina. Talagang kautusan na yan. Bakit? Kung kinikilala noon pa man ang Papal Infallibility, bakit naging dogma lamang noong 1870? Pakipaliwanag. Bakit? Bakit walang Pope? Walang council?
Okay.
Bakit? Walang council ng Vatican. Bakit 1870 lang naging dogma, doktrina ng simbahan, ang Papal Infallibility? Ibig ba sabihin nung 1054, nung hindi pa yan dogma? Wala pa kayong dogma, 1870.
Ah,
Okay.
Mahaba na kasi. Sige, sasagutin kita, Reverend Somes. O ito, ang 4th Session Dogmatic Constitution Pastor Eternos of the Church of Christ 1870. Pero na-quote dito, based ang 1870, sa 4th Council of Constantinople din kinote. So itong dogma, na-define 1870 for the Western Church. Pero pala sa Greek Church in the 4th General Council of Constantinople, na-define na rin. Para to sa amin. Hindi naman to para sa inyo eh. So huwag kayong makialam kung 1870 pa lang. Ang sa inyo, 6th century pa lang na-define na pala. Okay dito ng First Vatican Council, ang 4th General Council of Constantinople. Kasi sa 1054, bumiwalay kayo kasi nag-umpisa na kayo.
Time's up, time's up.
Hindi kumikilala
Time's
sa papalin-palin yet. That's why you're...
time's up, time's up. Okay po.
Thank you very much.
Salamat po, Tatay Alvin. Pastor Reverend Jumarit, tapos na po ang iyong oras sa pagtatanong. Naubos na po yung 10 minuto. Okay, salamat po sa mainit mo mga tanong, Reverend Jumarit. So, sa dako na ito, ipupunta na po tayo sa rebuttal stage ng negative side. Sa loob po ng 15 minutos o 15 minutes, ay magre-rebut po si Reverend Jumari Sumis. Go ahead po, Reverend Jumari Sumis, sa iyong rebuttal.
Okay. In 6th century na sinasabi niyang the 4th Constantinople, nung the 6th Ecumenical Council, both Pope Honorius and Patriarch Sergius ng Constantinople and Pope Honorius ng Roman Catholic were declared heretics ng council, na anathema sila. Ibig sabihin, walang ang council, the 6th Council, Ecumenical Council, ang may kapangyarihan, walang papal infallibility. The Pope is only the first among equal, not an honorary title lang, hindi siya supreme. At ang sinasabi, at yung 1870 lang, ginawang dogma ng Roman Catholic lang ang gumawa niya, ng Vatican Council I. Ang gumawa lang ng dogma, hindi kasamang Greek dyan. Hindi buong sila lang. Sila lang ang gumawa ng papal infallibility. Ibig sabihin, ang ibang pope before the 1870 naging dogma yan, ay hindi tinatanggap na iba din Roman Catholic Pope ang papal infallibility. Only 1870 at ang ginawa yan ng Vatican Council I na hindi nga natapos, hindi nga na-define ng ito, kaya nagkaroon ng Vatican II. Kaya ang papal infallibility ay hindi malinaw din yan. At kailan lang yan nangyari. At hindi totoo na sinasabi mo na ang 4th Constantinople ay dumiklara na supreme authority. Ang Pope lang ganyan eh, kasi nungalingan yun. Iba ang sinasabi mo, iba ang sinasabi ng Greek. At ang tinatanggap lang namin, ang 7 Ecumenical Council. Ang pagdating ng 1054, ang Roman Catholic humiwalay sapagkat inano ni Pope Leo IV na siya ang may supreme authority. Pinapatigil niya ang 8 Ecumenical Council ng Constantinople na nireject ng 4 na Pope. Pope of Jerusalem, Pope of Antioch, Pope of Alexandria, and Pope of Constantinople. Nireject yan. Kaya, nung nireject yan, ang Pope, ang emisary ng Pope, Pope Leo IV, emisary niya, kinundi na ang council, ang Ecumenical Council. Sinabi sila ang humiwalay. Hindi, 4 na Pope laban sa isang Pope. Pope of Jerusalem, Patriarchal of Jerusalem, Alexandria, ang Antioch. Kaya nga until now, ang Antioch, Jerusalem, Constantinople, ang Alexandria, Orthodox, Roman Catholic lang ang humiwalay. 4 against 1. Paano mo sasabihin kami ang humiwalay? Kami ang yung simbahan, 4, Jerusalem, ang original. Nandiyan pa rin, andun Jerusalem Patriarchal. Hanggang ngayon, naandun. Sa Church of Sepulchre, punta ka ng Jerusalem. Orthodox ang mahawak niyan. Ayan pa rin ang Jerusalem. Ang Antioch, unang Kristiyano dyan, na tinawag unang Kristiyano si Peter at si John. Andyan pa rin, Orthodox rin yan. Ang Constantinople, Orthodox, ang Russian Orthodox. Etong 4 na bumubuo na Ecumenical Council, hindi sumama sa inyo. Bakit ang Rome lang humiwalay? At bakit 1870 lang naging dogma ng Diyos? Ayan sinasabi mo na kino-quote mong mga inapruba na Ecumenical Council. Walang katotohanan, kasinungalingan yan. Walang proof yan. 7 Ecumenical Council lang ang tinatanggap. After the 1054, wala na Ecumenical Council. Tatandaan, pagka-split ng Roman Catholic, ang Roman Catholic umislit, humiwalay siya sa Jerusalem, the original, sa Antioch, the original church, sa Alexandria, sa Constantinople, 4 against 1. At kailan lang naging dogma yan? 1870. Sa First Vatican Council. Hindi pang natapos yan eh. Kaya nagkaroon ng Vatican II. Hindi na naging malinaw infallibility. Dahil hindi malaman kung kailan sasabihin na ex cathedra. Oh, bakit naging dogma lamang yan? Papaano yung mga ikaw lang ang nagsasabi niyan. Kayo lang ang nagsasabi. Ang Vatican Council, ang Roman Catholic lang, hindi kasama dyan ang Greek. Kaya hindi yan ecumenical. Sa inyo lang yan. Hindi kinikilala. Kaya nga nung 20, si John Paul II humingi ng paumanhin sa Patriarchal ng Constantinople sa pagmassacre nila sa Constantinople, sa Crusade. Humingi siya ng paumanhin doon. Bakit humingi ng paumanhin si Pope John Paul? Alam mo ba yon? Noong si Pope John Paul II humingi ng paumanhin. Oh, kung siya talaga infallible, bakit humingi siya ng paumanhin sa Patriarchal Constantinople noong 2000? Dahil sa massacre na ginawa ng Crusade. Ayan ba ang holiness? Minasakir ninyo ang Constantinople. Imbis na humingi ng tulungan sila dahil sinasakop sila ng Muslim, minasakir ninyo. Kaya humingi si Pope John Paul II noong year 2000 ng apology because of the massacre ng Crusade sa Constantinople. At pinagdidiinan ko, 1870 lang, naging dogma yan, ang papal infallibility. Before that, mga Pope ay hindi infallible. Hindi nila yun sinasabi. Only 1870 at Vatican Council 1. Composed of Roman Catholic lang, walang Greek. Hindi yan ecumenical. At yung 1054, 4 na Pope against 1 Pope. Pope of Rome against the Pope of Jerusalem, the Pope of Antioch, the Pope of Constantinople, the Pope of Alexandria, Egypt. kinundinas ang Pope of Rome, si Pope Leo IV. At diniklara niya ang papal infallibility, doon nagsimula yun. Supremacy, that pinapatigil niya 8 Ecumenical Council. Ayun sinasabi mo. Kaya walang katotohanan yan, ang mga binabasa mo. Side ninyo yan. Binabasa mo lang yung side ng kwento ninyo. Pero side ng kwento namin, hindi yan. Hanggang 7 Ecumenical Council lang ang tinatanggap. And there's a proof, hanggang doon lang yan. Pagka ang Roman Catholic ang nag-split, bakit anong patunay? Ang Jerusalem, Antioch pa rin yan. Ang Antioch, Orthodox pa rin yan. Jerusalem, Orthodox pa rin yan. Kahit pumunta ka sa Jerusalem, sa Church of Sepulchre, Orthodox pa rin sila. Ang Alexandria, Orthodox pa rin. Ang Constantinople, Orthodox pa rin yan. 4 yan, Orthodox pa rin. Kayo lang ang tinanggal ninyong word na Orthodox. Bakit? Sapagkat gusto ng Pope ninyo, siya ang supreme. Hindi. Honorary title lang yan. As an honor. Hindi authority. Hindi tinatanggap ang authority ng Pope. Kaya nga, nag-split sila dyan. 1054 ang simula ng split ng Ecumenical Council, humiwalay ang Roman Catholic against war. Kaya tingnan mo, still, Orthodox pa rin ang Jerusalem, the original church. Antioch, Orthodox pa rin. Ang Alexandria, Orthodox pa rin. Constantinople, Orthodox. Only Roman Catholic ang inalis niya ang word na Orthodox. And Vatican Council I, 1870, na dumiklara ang papal infallibility is only Roman Catholic. Wala dyan ng Greek. Nasa ano niyan, dogma niyan. And 2000, si Pope John Paul II humingi ng apology sa Patriarch ng Constantinople because of the crusade na ginawa ng minasakir ninyo ang Constantinople. Bakit humingi ng apology si Pope? Hindi mo ba alam yun? Nasa ano yun? I-search mo ang apology ni Pope John Paul II. Kung infallible siya, bakit siya humingi ng apology? Sagutin mo yan, bakit humingi ng apology si Pope John Paul II noong 2000 sa Constantinople? Ayan ang katanungan ko. At bakit 1870 lang ang naging dogma ng Roman Catholic ng papal infallibility? Before that, hindi tinatawag na infallible ang
5 minutes.
Pope of Rome. Kaya dito, makikita na walang katotohanan ng mga sinasabi niya. Side lang niya yan. Kwento lang niya yun. Kahit i-research ninyo sa Google, wala na tayo itatawag. Search ninyo. Ang nangyari sa Ecumenical Council, 1054, the reason kung bakit umiwalay. Sino umiwalay? Ang Rome. Hindi ang Constantinople. Buo pa rin sila. Jerusalem is still Orthodox. Antioch is still Orthodox. Alexandria is still Orthodox. Ang Constantinople is still Orthodox. Roman Catholic lang ang nag-alis na Orthodox. And 1870 lamang naging dogma yan. Vatican Council, only the Roman Catholic. Wala dyan ng Greek ang nag-approve niyan. And 2000, nag-apologize si Pope John Paul II sa Pope ng Constantinople. Kung siya ay infallible, bakit siya nag-apologize? Inamin niya ang pagkakamali ng crusade. Pagmasaker ng Constantinople. Hanggang dyan lang yan. Hindi pwede tayong kwento mo lang, bias. Marami tayong kwento, pwede tayong magkwento. Pero i-search ninyo sa Google. The reason, the 1054, the massacre of Constantinople, sinong gumawa niya? Year 2000, Pope John Paul II, bakit nag-apologize? Ano ang dahilan? Kailan naging dogma yan? Search. Hindi puro kwento tayo, madali tayo magkwento. Pwede ako magkwento. Di din ninyo ako paniniwala kwento. Di search ninyo. Kaya wala tayong oras dito ko, isa-isahin ko pa mga council. And sinasabi niyong Fourth Council of Constantinople, both Pope Honorius ng Roman Church and particular ng si Sergius ng Pope ng Constantinople, pareho yan anathemized ng council. as heretic. Ayun sinasabi niya na Port Constantinople. Walang katotohanan yan. Only in 1870 naging dogma yan. Before 1870, hindi tinatawag ng Pope na infallible sila. Walang ganyan. 1870, only in Vatican Council I. That is Roman Catholic, hindi kasama ang Eastern Catholic. Orthodox dyan. Roman Catholic. Madali lang niya sinasabi, nagsisinungaling, sinasabi lang niya. Sinasabi lang niya yan sa kanyang kwento. Pero kwento ko iba rin. Dahil ayan, nabasa ko. I-search niyo sa Google. Pope John Paul II nag-apologize sa Constantinople in year 2000 for the massacre of Constantinople ng Crusade. Ayan, pinaka masakit sa lahat. Sino? Dapat mo yan i-research. And 1054, sino humiwalay? Roman Catholic because of papal infallibility. Hindi tinanggap yan na apat ng Ecumenical Council. Jerusalem. Bakit ang Jerusalem is still Orthodox pa rin? Antioch is still Orthodox. Alexandria is still Orthodox. Constantinople is still Orthodox. Only the Roman Catholic ang hindi na Orthodox. Sino humiwalay? Ang Orthodox? Nonsense. Diba? Common sense. Ba't na Orthodox pa rin sila? Ba't ang Jerusalem Orthodox? Only Roman Catholic ang hindi gumamit ng Orthodox. Dahil siya ang humiwalay. Kinundi na siya. Hindi siya tinanggap ng apat na Pope. Four Pope against one. Sino paniniwalaan mo? Ang isang tao na magsasabi akong supreme? So, balikan ninyo. Pwede tayo magkwento, argument tayo dito magkwento. Walang katapusan, i-google ninyo para matapos. Pwede ako magkwento dito, pwede ka rin magkwento. Ang kwento mo hindi ako agree dahil ibang kwento mo sa kwento ko I-search natin sa Google. 1054. I-search niyo 1054 schematic, sino humiwalay. And 1870, the Vatican Council I. Sino yun? Roman Catholic lang yun. Walang Orthodox doon. Kaya hindi yan ecumenical. Hindi yan tinatanggap. And Pope John Paul II apologized sa Pope of Constantinople sa massacre na ginawa ng Crusade. Ayun po, natapos na po.
Okay. Time's up na rin. Tama-tama, ano? 9:05 po nagtatapos yung rebuttal stage. Salamat po, Reverend Jomari Somis, sa yung rebuttal. So sa panahon na ito mga kaibigan, alas 9 na po, ay dadako na po tayo sa cross-examination ng negative side laban po sa sa affirmative side laban po sa negative side. Tatay Alvin, meron po kayong 10 minuto para po magtanong kay Reverend Jomari Somis. Your time start now.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator, Brother Joel. At sa ating katunggaling ngayon, at ang amigo na si Reverend Somes. Ang tanong ko, Reverend Somes, ayon sa 7 General Councils ng Church, ng Iglesia Kristiyana, from the 3rd century, yung sinasabi mo before the 10th century, na ang nag-preside, the Patriarch of Jerusalem, pag may na-quote ka na isang council sa 7 General Councils na tinanggap mo, and it is presided by the Patriarch of Constantinople, panalo ka na. Meron o wala?
Pakiulit po.
Again, I will repeat the question. Ang sabi mo, tanggap mo 7 General Councils of the Church in the 3rd century up to before 1054. Yun ang tanggap mo. 7 yun ka-General Councils of the Church. Hindi pa nagkahiwalay ang Western at Eastern sa 1054. Tanggap mo yun. Kaya ang tanong ko sa iyo, alin sa 7 na nag-preside dyan, kahit man lang isa lang na council sa 7, o ang 7 na ba, is it presided by the Patriarch of Constantinople or not? Kung meron kang ebidensya, pakita mo libro, huwag kwento.
Ang Seven Ecumenical Council, ang nag-preside dito ay ang ang Constantinople. Wait
Cite an evidence. Reverend Thomas, huwag ko lang magkwento. Kasi ako dito, may ebidensya ako, counterpose ko itong mamaya.
Reverend Jabari, pwede naman po mag-pass. Pag walang
Pass muna ako dahil wala akong naisulat dito
so
mga
pass.
paper. Oo.
Sige, next question po.
Wala.
Next
Pass
question
yan.
po, Tatay Alvin.
Sunod na tanong. Ang First General Council of Constantinople, alam ko tanggap mo to kasi second to na General Council ng Church before the 1054 is 381 to. Tanggap mo to. Di ba kinukonsidera nila ang hukom ni Pope Damasus sa council? The Tommy of Damasus was accepted by the First General Council of Constantinople? Yes or no? The Tommy
Pass
of
ako
Pope
dyan.
Damasus.
Pope Damaso. Ay, hindi namin yung tungkol.
O, sige, sunod na tanong. Sunod na tanong. Dito sa General Council of Ephesus, di ba kinikilala nila leader dito? Pope Leo the Great? Tanggap din nila ang aral at judgment ni Pope Leo on the General Council of Ephesus. This is the third General Council eh. So tanggap mo, si Pope Leo the Great was accepted. Hindi yung Patriarch of Jerusalem or Patriarch of Constantinople o Alexandria or Antioch ang leader, kundi ang Pope pala, si Leo the Great. Yes or no? Categorical.
Hindi siya leader. Hindi siya ang nagpatawag lahat ng council. Walang Pope ang nagpatawag ng council, kundi ang Emperor ang nagpatawag ng council. Lahat ng Seven Ecumenical Council, lahat yan Emperor ang tumawag. Opinion lamang. Hindi.
Hindi opinion, libro ko to. Libro ko
Oh, libro mo yan. Iba libro ko eh.
Oh, sige, sunod.
Hindi.
Next question. Magtatanong ako. Next question. Itong the General Council of Chalcedon, ikaw, ika-apat na to. Pasok ko sa 7th General Council of Chalcedon. Sa Eastern Church din to. Leo the Great also. Presided also. Tanggap mo to. Nakinikilala. Ito talaga si Leo the Great. Yes or no? Walang partner kung sino tanong
Hindi
dito.
mo-
Tanggap mo
Okay.
hindi.
Hindi malinaw ang tanong mo, kaya pass mo ako dyan. Hindi malinaw kung
Sige.
siya, sinasabi mo lang tanggap eh. Hindi malinaw yun sa akin eh, kaya pass ako dyan. Ang tanong mo
Next
ay
question.
hindi malinaw.
Next question.
Hindi categorical yan.
Sige. Sunod na tanong na naman. Itong sa Second General Council of Nicaea, 787, si Pope Hadrian I was also recognized again as a leader among the churches. Tanggap mo to hindi, Pope Hadrian I, the Second General Council of Nicaea. Kasama to sa Second General Council eh. Tanggap mo hindi, yes or no? Pag hindi mo tanggap, sabihin mo no. Pag tanggap mo, sabihin mo yes, tanggap ko, Brother Alvin.
Pass ko yan, dahil ang hindi malinaw yung tanggap mo na sinasabi mo na leader eh. Oh,
Okay,
maraming leader
next
eh.
question. Next
Hindi
question.
yung malinaw.
Next
question.
question. In 870, corrected ako kanina pala, 870, the Fourth General Council of Constantinople, ito yung kapito. Leo IX again was also considered by the Patriarch of Antioch. Leo IX, Pope Leo IX, wala namang Pope Leo IX nasa Patriarch of Constantinople. Tanggap mo to. Starring din. Leader din. Tanggap mo hindi, yes or no?
Pass dyan, hindi categorical. Lahat sila leader eh. 5 ang leader dyan. Kaya pass. Ang question mo medyo tricky. Tricky ang question mo. Kaya pass ako dyan. Leader lang ang sinasabi mo. Sinasabi ko siya. Tricky yan eh. Pasa ko dyan, tricky ang tanong mo eh. Tricky, hindi sinasabi. Marami silang leader dyan. Tricky.
Teka. Moderator's time. Pastor Jomari, nagsa-side comment na naman po kayo, no?
Okay. Pasa ko dyan,
Yes,
pass.
yes.
Opo. Warningan kita ulit, Reverend Jomari. Isang first warning niyo po sa round na ito. Sige po, patuloy po. Tatay Alvin, meron pa po kayong natitirang oras, 4 na minuto po. Sige po.
Sige. On July 16, 1054, ito, yung libro, The Pope's 20th Century History, Pope Leo IX excommunicated Michael Serorarius, the Patriarch of Constantinople. Ang tanong ko sa iyo, sino yung humiwalay? Yung na-excommunicate na una o yung nag-excommunicate sa dalawa?
Pasa ko, mamaya ako sasagutin. Parehas sila nag-excommunicate eh. Tricky.
Okay, next question.
Pasa ko dyan. Tricky ang tanong eh.
Tanong. Huwag ka na mag-side comments kung magpas.
Okay.
Ay, sunod na tanong. Sabi mo, inili namin in 1054, Catholic Church, Catholic. Tapos ang sa inyo, nilitin nyo, Orthodox. May ano pa na, Greek Orthodox sa amin, Roman Catholic. Ang tanong ko sa'yo, kami meron sa Biblia, Catholic Church, Metropolita in the Greek. Sa inyo, meron bang Orthodox Church, Orthodoxia Ecclesia sa Biblia? Anong talata? Okay, mag-show down
Catholic.
tayo dito. Kung sino
Catholic
nagkwento
din.
dito.
Catholic kami. Catholic. Catholic.
That is not the answer to my question. Objection, Mr. Moderator.
Okay, there is an objection. Ano pong objection yun, no?
Pasa
Mr.
ko dyan. Pasa
Affirmative,
ng
ano
tanong
pong
ko.
objection?
Pass.
Hindi, habang objection muna. Mr. Moderator, kasi categorical, sabi niya kanina sa rebuttal niya 15 minutes, sabi niya, kami daw pumili ng Catholic. Yung Orthodox daw, na-retain daw yun for 10 centuries. In 1054, humiwalay daw kami, iniwan na namin ang word Orthodox. Kasi yun talaga ang pangalan ng iglesia. Kaya, pera tunog niya, walang Catholic Church. Kaya nga ang tanong ko sa inyo, saan yung Orthodox Church sa Bible? Bible muna tayo, Aber. Sino nagkwento sa atin? Reverend Somes. Saan sa Bible, letra po letra, Orthodoxia Ecclesia? Kung meron ka, sabihin mo meron, anong talata? Kung wala, sabihin mo, wala, Brad Alvin sa Biblia.
Pass ako.
Be honest.
Okay,
Pass.
okay, salamat po. Tatay Alvin, malawanan po yung tanong. Reverend Jumari, pakisagot po ng categorical kung meron po kayong sagot na makita sa Biblia. Sige po.
Pwede.
Meron po ba o wala? Pwede naman po mag-pass kapag wala.
Pass.
Nag-pass na siya.
Pass.
Okay, pass. Okay, proceed. 2 minutes remaining para sa pagtatanong. Wait po, Tatay Alvin.
Sunod na tanong, based on the original Greek dito, interlinear Greek, sana nag-aral ka rin ng Greek. Sabi dito, as a premise mo ng Mr. Moderator, ba Joel, Catholic's Ecclesias, letra po letra, o ay mark it yellow, Greek English interlinear, Catholic's Ecclesias, Catholic Church, meron ako Catholic Church, so tatanggapin mo na ngayon, Reverend Somes, na Catholic Church pala mula sa Biblia sa panahon sa Jerusalem, hindi pala Orthodox. Yes or no?
Yes, Catholic. Kita ko dyan. Greek, alam ko yan eh. Sa
Thank
Acts.
you very much. Thank you very
30
much.
seconds, pagsagot po. Paliwanag. 30 seconds na
Papaliwanag ko. Una, sa Acts, Catholic yan. Pero hindi sinasabi Romans. Dahil tinutukoy niya dyan sa Jerusalem. Hindi Roman Catholic. At ang Orthodox, Catholic din yan. Ibig sabihin ng Catholic, ang unang gumamit ng Catholic na word ay si Bishop Ignatius in the 2nd century na tinawag ng the whole opinion. Ang Catholic ay hindi lamang yung exclusive sa Romans, kundi Orthodox, Catholic din ang tawag dyan.
Next question. Next question.
Next question. I quoted Romans 16:23. Pro Romayos,
30 seconds.
Catholic Ecclesias, Romans 16:23. Tanggap mo ito nga, referring to sa Roman Church, ang Catholic Church sa Biblia, letra po letra, Roma 16:23, hindi mo ito alam. Yes or no?
Church yan. No.
Romans 16:23. Pro Romayos, Catholictes Ecclesias, Roman Catholic Church, tanggap mo to, hindi? Yes or no? Tanggap mo.
Time's up, time's up.
This,
Time's up po. Time's up na po. Salamat
Time's
po,
up.
Tatay Alvin, sa iyong cross-examination sa ating laban po sa negative side. Dadako na po tayo sa ating conclusion, no? Sa debate na ito, papal infallibility na paksa. At tayo naman po patuloy pa rin live na papakinggan sa buong daigdig at sa buong Pilipinas sa pamamagitan po ng Philippine Debaters Association FB page sa mga oras na ito. 5 minuto po para po sa conclusion. Uunahin po natin ang negative side bago po ang affirmative para po sa kanyang final conclusion. Sige po, Reverend Jomari Somis ng Orthodox Church. 5 minuto po sa iyong conclusion. Go ahead po.
Okay. Our conclusion, ang papal infallibility ay nagsimula lamang yan noong 1054, noong humiwalay ang Roman Catholic na excommunicate ng Constantinople Patriarchal ang Pope ng Rome. At the same time, excommunicate din ng Pope of Rome ang Constantinople. Ayun ang sinasabi niya, excommunicate. Pareho silang nag-excommunicate. And in 1870 lang, naging dogma ang papal infallibility. Doon lang naging formal na dogma yan. Walang papal infallibility before 1870. At ang nag-kumpirma lang yan, ang Vatican I, puro Roman Catholic. At ang Orthodox ay Catholic din yan. Orthodox yan, Catholic din yan. Hindi lamang ang Romans. Ang Book of the Bible na Romans na sinasabi niya, 5:15, ayan ay Romans na sa Book of Romans na itinayo ni Paul at ni Peter, hindi lamang si Peter, pati si Paul. At si Peter hindi naging bishop ng Rome. Kaya walang binanggit si Paul sa letter of Roman tungkol kay Peter dyan. Dahil wala si Peter, hindi naging bishop si Peter. At hindi din binanggit ni Paul na sinulat niya ang Roman si Bishop Linus, the first Pope. Kaya walang katotohanan lahat ng sinasabi niya tungkol sa Bible na ang Roman Catholic lang, ang papal infallibility, ang siyang supreme. Dahil noong 2000, si Pope John Paul nag-apologize kung siya ay papal infallibility. Bakit siya nag-apologize sa Constantinople na patriarch dahil sa crusade na massacre na ginawa nila sa Orthodox Constantinople Catholic Church. Minasakir nila yung pinatay nila doon at ninakawan pa. Bakit nag-apologize? Hindi niya yan sinagot. Kaya nakikita kahit si Pope John Paul II ay hindi infallible. Si Peter hindi din infallible dahil tatlo sila dyan nangunguna sa Book of Acts. Sa Galatians sinabi na pillar of the church, si Peter, si John, saka si James. At si Peter ay hindi naging bishop ng Rome, kaya walang binanggit si Paul sa letter of Rome tungkol kay Pope Peter, wala. Sa Antioch lang naging bishop si Peter. Kaya ang lahat ng mga argumento niya tungkol sa council ay walang katotohanan. Thus, ang Jerusalem, Orthodox Church pa rin yan. Ang Antioch, kung saan unang tinawag na Christian si Peter sa si John, Orthodox pa rin yan. Ang Constantinople, Alexandria, bakit ang Roman Catholic lang ang hindi sumama doon? Dahil siya ang humiwalay. 4 Pope against 1 Pope at excommunicated din siya ng Constantinople noong 1054 sa ganti ng pag-excommunication din ng Pope of Rome, ni Pope Leo sa Constantinople. Kaya pareho sila nag-excommunicate. Kaya noong dumiklara si Pope Francis ngayon na ang excommunication na ginawa noong 1054 ay invalid. Wala na yun. Basahin niya ngayon. Si Pope Francis na nagsabi na excommunication na ginawa ng 1054 na both Constantinople and Rome ay invalid na. So, basahin niyo yun, hindi niya nabasa. Kaya hanggang dito lang, ang walang papal infallibility. Si Peter ay hindi infallible. Ang Pope ay hindi din infallible. Honorary title lang siya, the first among equal. At lahat ng council, emperor ang nagpatawag. Leader, isa siya sa mga leader. Ang Pope of Rome, isa sa mga leader na sinasabi niya na tinatanggap. Oo, tinatanggap na leader, pero hindi lamang siya isa. Leader din ng apat na Orthodox. Constantine, Jerusalem, Antioch, at Alexandria. Kaya yung sinasabi niya ay tricky. Ang mga tanong niya sa akin ay tricky. Pagsisinungaling.
Time's up. Salamat po, Reverend Jomari Somis ng Orthodox Church. Pero ano po pala sila, no? Reformist Evangelical, kung hindi po ako nagkakamali. Salamat po, Reverend Jomari Somis, sa yung 5 minutes na conclusion. Dadako na naman po tayo sa affirmative side para po sa kanyang 5 minutes conclusion sa paksa na papal infallibility, no, sa gabi na ito. Sige po, Tatay Alvin, sa loob po ng 5 minuto, tapusin niyo po ang iyong conclusion. Go ahead po.
Maraming salamat, Brad Joel, ang ating
Teka, tayo muna para hindi po na wala po kami naririnig sa Tatay Alvin.
at sa ating katunggali ngayon si
Ayun.
Reverend Somes ng Greek Orthodox Church.
Ayun, sige po, Tatay Alvin, narinig po.
Hello.
Sige po,
Okay
5
na?
minutes po.
Okay. Maraming salamat. So, ngayon, dito tayo sa ating last conclusion, 5 minutes. Sabi ni Reverend Somes, nagkikwento ako. Hindi ako nagkikwento, Reverend Somes. No, standard to. Hindi lang to sa Roman Catholic Church na panig, kundi pati sa Greek Orthodox Church. Actually, wala kong kinote na Western Church eh. Puro to Constantinople, Greek Church. Kaya ikaw ang gumawa ng kwento, hindi mo alam ang history mo at ng iglesia mo. Ngayon, sabi mo, walang Catholic. Before the 10th century, Catholic lang ang na-retain namin. Kami daw ang pumili ng Catholic. Ay, mali! The Nicene Creed, the Creed of Nicaea, the Constantinopolitan Creed, the Creed of Constantinople, yung sa Greek Church na inamin nyo, kayo yan. Ano sabi? Credam, unam, sanctam, catholicam, ecclesiam. I believe in one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church. Hindi sinabi credam, unam, sanctam, orthodoxiam, ecclesiam, walang Orthodox Church. Sa mga Creed of the Apostles, pinananawalaan mo na Greek Orthodox, dinagdagan pa ng Greek, ay mali, wala sa Bible yan. Sa amin meron Pro-Romayos, Romans, sabi mo hindi sa Roma, hindi mo alam ang Bible sa Greek. Pro-Romayos, Romans chapter 16, verse 23, 16-23 ng Roma, sulat ni San Pablo. Pro-Romayos, Catholicus Ecclesias, sa Greek interlinear po. Dami mo pa pag-aralan, Reverend Somis. History mo hindi mo alam. Sa 1054, kayo ang pumili ng Orthodox na name. Kaya kayo ang naghiwalay Ang Catholic na-retain, kami nga, One Holy Catholic Apostolic Church, na-retain yan for 10 centuries. Kayo ang unang humiwalay, naging Orthodox. Dapat pumili kasi kayo ng pangalan para hindi kayo makakopya sa Catholic. Kaya ayaw nyo ng One Holy Catholic Apostolic Church. Lalo na Roman, ayaw nyo kilalanin sa tupapa ng Roma. Kaya ang ginawa nyo, kaya ang humiwalay talaga, ito invento ng Greek Orthodox na wala sa Bible. In 1054, itong grupo ni Michael Cirularius sa Patriarch Apostolical na kinindi na una anathematized by Pope Leo IX in the 1054. Alam mo naman, kami ang anathematize nyo, kami ang na-excommunicate, di kami ang humiwalay kung kami na-excommunicate. Sabi mo, kalusot mo, nag-excommunicate, later na rin. Later na sila nag-counted excommunicate. Talaga yung nauna, yun talaga ang hindi nag-separate kay One Holy Catholic Apostolic Church yun. Hindi yung Orthodox Church. Bumalik ka na sa Catholic Church, kung Orthodox ka man ngayon talaga. Reverend Somes, I humbly beseech you, come back to the Catholic Church. Why? Many Oriental, Greek churches, Eastern churches, already comes back to the Roman Catholic Church kaya makilala na sa Papa ng Roma. Katoliko na sila talaga nga, katoliko. Sa'yo, angkin mo lang na Orthodox ka, tapos Catholic din kayo. Hindi pwede, Orthodox din, tapos Catholic din. Dapat talaga, bumalik is Catholic Church, so be fully Catholic. Na hindi kayo in full communion, you're the head of the Catholic Church, the Pope of Rome. Huwag kang magkwento na si Peter is not the Bishop of Rome. Kung basahin mo sa 1 Peter 5 verse 2, sabi dito, Episkopoy si Pedro. Bilang elder, Episkopoy. Sa verse 13, sa 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 13, the church here in Rome, the Living Bible Catholic Edition at Living Bible Protestant Edition, the church here in Rome salutes you, sulas may San Mark. Ang iglesia dito sa Roma, sumasaludo sa inyo. O napakaliwanag, isa verse 2 sa Greek, Episkopoy, you feed as a bishop to the church. Unang Pedro 5:1-2, Kamat 13. Hindi ko pala alam ang Bible Yan ang problema. Kasi hindi ka kasi true Catholic Church, kaya hindi ka interesado magbasa ng Bible. Kasi walang Orthodox Church talaga sa Biblia Maraming salamat.
Times po. Tatay Elvin, times na po. Salamat po, Tatay Elvin, sa iyong conclusion sa paksa na ito. So, yan. Diyan po nagtatapos mga kaibigan ang ating debate